everyone. Welcome to Tuesdays with Trailblazers by Martech Edge, the video podcast where we explore the latest trends and insights in marketing and technology. I'm your host, Neha, and today we will be talking about application security, or as we know it, AppSec, and how it affects businesses. Can you compromise security in the software space? And the answer would be an outright no. Security loopholes and vulnerabilities in software and applications, right from the development to production, must be thoroughly addressed and resolved. Checkmarx, the leading enterprise application security provider, helps fix all the application issues and enhances the AppSec function for businesses on a colossal scale. And today we have Amit Daniel, a marketing trailblazer with over 2 decades of experience across diverse roles, currently serving as the CMO of Checkmarx, who will be taking us through the nuances of Checkmarx and AppSec. So let's get rolling. Hello, Ami. Welcome to Tuesdays with Trailblazers. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
I'm very good. Thanks, Nia, for having me today.
All right. Thank you. And I'm sure we'll have a great time knowing about your marketing endeavors at Checkmarx. But first, take us through your background and the diverse career path you have treaded. For instance, your experience as CMO at Cognite and what piqued you to join Checkmarx?
Great. So I've been in the iTech industry for the last 25 years already. I started originally in the space of product management. So originally I really defined, the initial products that were sold for different iTech industries. I've been in telecom, cybersecurity, defense, really different verticals. So I started originally in product management and then led product management team. But from there, because my background, I did my master's also in international marketing. So I came back to the marketing space from the product management. And originally when I started mainly focusing on the product marketing space inside marketing, but I led all the teams of marketing. So before joining Checkmarx, previously in Cognite and some other companies, I managed both marketing teams, product management teams, as well as business development, all the channel sales and partnerships with channels. So I'm coming from a very wide background in terms of different spaces and departments within the iTech. And in Checkmarx, I'm focusing on the marketing. So I'm the CMO, as you indicated, and we have a very wide, it's a large team of people that are global from different cultures, different DNAs, different experiences. And for me, what was really fascinating and the reason for choosing to come on board was mainly because it's a market leader in the space of cloud native application security. And, we basically invented anything that nobody knew to call application security back then, which is almost 18 years ago. So to join a company that is stable, mature, well-known brand leader was a challenge in terms of taking it to the next step. So what does it mean in terms of taking, a unified approach rather than point solutions, take a platform and services offering into the market? What does it mean to actually go and serve the largest enterprises in the world? That was a huge challenge, and it was a fascinating year. I'm almost for a year now in Checkmarx, and it's really exciting.
That is an interesting beginning and a lot of learning you must have taken away from your roles, I must say.
Exactly.
So what is that one thing which you picked up from your role in different organizations, which helps you in people management?
Well, I think it's really, first of all, is to have the right people in the right place. Mm-hmm. So it's really to understanding what type of culture, DNA, characteristic, capabilities you need to bring in. And I think that the mix, so not having the same people, with the same background, with the same experience, for me was always useful. So you could find, and you can still find in my teams, people that are coming from different verticals, different industries, a different level of seniority. So we will always have people that are very experienced, but also people that are junior, and we would like to give them the opportunity to do something and grow within the company and the department with us. And it proved, at least from my side, as a major KPI for the success of the marketing team, because when you give an opportunity to somebody that is coming with the right motivation and attitude, but does not necessarily brings, the full spectrum of experience and knowledge, is bringing something different. He's coming from a different background. I see it when I bring people that are coming from completely different verticals, so not necessarily from cybersecurity. And then sometimes we all feel that if we recruit people that are very similar to us, it's easier, but it's not always the best, value and contribution that you can bring to the company. When you bring people that are coming from different backgrounds, they look at things completely different. They're the outsiders, so they've been creative, thinking. They're much more judgmental on things that maybe if you've been doing 20 years cybersecurity, you will not even see. And for me, the diversity, the really bringing people from different angles, different seniority, different aspects is what makes a marketing team much more effective and efficient.
Right. Right. So, okay, let's little bit dive into cybersecurity and application security marketing scenario. What are the challenges and opportunities you see here? And also highlight some successful programs which you have implemented in Checkmarx.
So I think cybersecurity, we all know, is a very, very intense and competitive space. So there are tons of providers coming from different angles, many of them trying to tell very similar stories around, risk reduction or how to take the advantage of the consolidation that is taking place across the entire cybersecurity ecosystem. And I think that the tricky part, at least that we saw also from Checkmarx, is what differentiates us and how we can make sure that it comes across in our value proposition, in our storytelling, in our thought leadership and brand awareness. So I think what is one of the main unique things, at least for us, is the fact that we really focus and specialize, and this is what we have 18 years of background and experience, is serving the largest enterprises in the world. So it's not like, you come and say, okay, you're a vendor that is able to supply small, medium enterprise, large enterprise. It's one size fits all when it comes to application security. No, it's not. Because when you're looking at the large scale, and I'm referring to the Fortune 100, Fortune 500, those are really the largest organizations in the world. When it comes to application security, they really have huge complexities in terms of scale, the number of developers team, the impact of the vulnerabilities that they will have if they will not fix them on the applications that they are releasing. Because think about it, you're talking about technology providers, you're talking about healthcare providers, banks, the largest banks in the world. So if they are releasing an application out there and that application is with vulnerabilities, the impact is massive. It's massive. So for us, to be able to come and say we are protecting the world's most critical application is not a vision. It's actually our mission. This is what we do. We enable all our customers, and we have approximately 2,000 customers. 60%, just to give us reference, 60% of the Fortune 100 are customers of Checkmarx. And the same percentage continue if you go to the Fortune 500 and move on across different verticals. So when you look at the marketing issue is how do you convey that story? How do you actually look at your buying personas, which are the CISO, the chief security officers, and the AppSec leaders and the developer leaders, and you demonstrate the story that you have with your offering, which comprises the technology, the platform, and the services in a unique way that doesn't sound the same, that really gives the value realization to these organizations and clearly indicates the differentiation from your competitors. So it's not one size fits all. Why you are able to cater their needs because they're a large enterprise. What are their needs that are different from the small, medium enterprise? The fact that we can serve all of the teams, not only CISO, not only developers, but all of them under one roof, creating what we call DevSec trust. We build the trust between the teams so they can align and get better results in terms of their AppSec is our story. And this is, I think, was one of the things that we wanted to align and to make sure that we take into the market. We also feel that our own employees understand that, and it's communication across the board, internally and externally.
So, of course, when we talk about modern day marketing, you just mentioned we cannot stress more on the importance of storytelling. It is a story which you weave around. So, give us, your side, your narrative, how you are building up Checkmarx.
So I think the main issue is really to start and understand from your customers, what are their needs, what are the main challenges that they're facing, so you can really, we're working on what we call ABX, so it's account-based experience. We're not, just spreading all over, whoever comes first we serve. No, because we really have the expertise and the capability to serve the largest organizations. So we need to handpick the organizations we're working with. This is our expertise. We have the ability to support them, and that needs to come and be conveyed also in all our marketing, whether it's in the activities that we do for thought leadership, brand awareness. So we will focus on the challenges and the needs and the propositions that large enterprises are looking for versus small, medium. We will look at elements that we know that differentiates us. So if we're talking about multiple groups inside our customers that needs to be better aligned and create the trust between them. So we will pick the case studies. We will look at examples where we have done it together with the customer, so we can bring the best practices and the knowledge to others to learn from. We will then look at the innovation and the technology that we bring there. Like, for example, we were the first one that actually leveraged GenAI, which is a huge buzzword across the board. But how do you use GenAI, which is a massive one now because you can develop code, but you are actually releasing code that is with vulnerabilities because it's an open source. You're taking it from outside. And then what does it mean on your applications and the level of risk that you have? So from a marketing perspective, how do you take something that is a challenge and you're actually showing them that you have a capability to take it as an opportunity rather than a threat? So, and we have, because we have that in our innovation and our technology, we brought the first GenAI plugin that when you develop with ChatGPT, for example, the code will actually scan it and make sure that you get something that is already with application security once you get it from ChatGPT. So you need to actually look at all these elements. The research that we have, there's tons of interesting researchers today that our team is conducting on vulnerabilities. How do you convey that to the customers on all levels, from top of funnel, thought, leadership, brand awareness activities we do there. Then in the middle of the funnel, when it meets the customer, so he's already at a stage that is actively looking for content that will assist him to make a decision, to understand your differentiation, your value, how does it fit perfectly his need? And again, looking at the targeted audience, enterprises, not just any customer. Who are the personas that we're there after? And equipping them and enabling them to get better understanding from their peers. So we are facilitating lots of, advisory boards and roundtables and brainstorming sessions. So CISOs can sit with CISOs and learn from them, and AppSec leaders with AppSec leaders, and consolidating the teams together to user groups so they can actually sit and learn from the experiences. Because we do believe that as a market leader, we have lots of responsibility making sure that our customers and prospects, we are the facilitator for them, to learn from each other. And it's tightly coupled into the account-based experience in marketing that we are using.
So how do you eliminate, you just mentioned about the, Gen AI vulnerabilities. How are you, what are you doing in that respect?
In the Gen AI, you mean?
Yes, specifically.
In the AppSpec space.
Yes.
So in the AppSpec, we're basically leveraging the Gen AI for different things, different types of automation that you don't need manual work, and you can faster, identify, prioritize, and give the solution to your customers. And also the examples that I just told you. You have multiple Gen AI tools. You cannot really, organizations today try to limit the developers in order not to use these tools because they're frightening from the impact on vulnerabilities that will be now open into the organizations, but you cannot really avoid it. I mean, it's a trend that is developing. So instead of being concerned with it, we came up as, the first one that were innovative in that space to actually bring a solution. So we come and say, we need to embrace the technology. This is the trend in the market. We cannot ignore it. But let's make sure that whatever we do generate code with GenAI is actually going to be much more secure and protected, because when you use the plugins of Checkmarx, it's giving you a code that is scanned. So you are bringing less vulnerabilities inside your code. And this is exactly the beauty of saying, that's the trend, that's the technology, let's see how to embrace it and connect to it, rather than saying, don't use it.
Okay. So that's quite a groundbreaking feature and improvement, which can actually push boundaries in the innovation of AI. So exploring a little bit about the contemporary consumer buying trends, integrated marketing has become a pivotal in addressing various customer journeys. So how do you meticulously design integrated marketing campaigns to ensure a consistent messaging across all the channels, and to have a maximum impact and resonance throughout all the channels? This is something which everybody in a marketing space is struggling these days.
I fully agree, and it's always a challenge, because especially when you look with a team that is spread, working each one on its different elements, you really want to make sure that everybody conveys the same story, everybody are enabled on the same messaging, and it comes across as a coherent story from one company. So the way that we operate is we basically have across the teams, whether it's corporate marketing, demand generation, SDRs and BDRs that I have in my team, regional marketing, partners marketing, product marketing, portfolio marketing, we have it all. What we do is every time that we have constantly, we are reviewing it and updating it, we actually create a messaging doc, which is like our marketing Bible that comes and says, okay, this is our messaging to the world. Those are the differentiators. These are the themes. So we have something like up to 5 main themes. So if we have a vision, our mission, the boilerplates of how we describe and what's our storytelling, we actually come and say, those are the main, pillars or themes that we want to constantly repeat it. And then when we plug it into our integrated calendar, we have a calendar in marketing where we have all the activities that reside there. I'll just give an example. Let's say that we come and say that we have a specific topic that we want to repeat. So in just saying, okay, let's have, PR activity where we convey the message. So we have PR and we have articles, top of funnel, which is great, to have it at the top of funnel. But if the same message in the level that suits the audience will not be met, the customer will not see it, not only at the top of the funnel, but you will see it also in the middle when he reads the website, when he comes across Google Ads, when he's getting mailers from HubSpot from my team, when he's going to get the salesperson that will meet him in a face-to-face interaction, or if he's attending a webinar or a roundtable. So what we do is we take those things and we actually plug them into the full touch points that the customer sees. So you will then see it at the touch points, and we actually measure it with our tools. So it's very data driven. So we can actually come and see what the customers saw from that organization, and it's multiple people in different levels that we would like to reach out in the same account, whether it's an existing account or a prospect. But we make sure that it will be conveyed in different places, and we can then see also on the tools how the account is transferring. So from, very high level a situation of being at the top of the funnel, you see the account going down and improving the stage to consideration, to awareness, to decision. We can monitor it with tools like Sixth Sense and others that we're deploying. But what we see is that when we use the same message and it's repetitive in different touch points and channels, it's much stronger because the customer sees it from different angles in the touches. And it's not a simple one. It's because it requires orchestration and alignment and communication, but it's a critical one, to really make the impact and the ROI.
That's quite an insight and a good takeaway for me as well. So, what advice would you offer to budding professionals who have just started in the field of marketing and who want to get an experience like you? What would you say to them?
I would actually recommend them, not only think that marketing people can only come from marketing. I'm looking at myself, as a personal example. I mean, I studied marketing all my life, but I didn't start my first role when I was young as a marketeer. It was in product management. It gave me massive experience and knowledge that I couldn't have gained if I came only for marketing. So I think that the fact that if you want to come into marketing, you can come from CSM, you can come from being an SDR, you can come from pure marketing activities, you can come from product management. Every angle that you will bring in when you will come to be a marketeer is going to assist you to see a much wider picture. So my recommendation is really not to limit, not to come and say, okay, I am coming to do an event person, but try to get as wider experience and knowledge and understanding of it's a cycle, the sales cycle, all the activities that we do. If you understand that touch point from different angles, you will be a better marketeer. You'll be able to really come in with different insights rather than specializing only in one space and not looking at other directions.
Right. Interesting. And one last question, which will give our audience a sneak peek into who Ami is. So how do you choose to unwind and engage in activities that bring you joy or fulfillment in your leisure moments?
Well, my most important thing is to spend time with my family and friends. That's for me, a critical element. It's also disconnecting you from work. Although I must say that there are many, throughout the years, I have many friends that became even family from inside work. So I do believe that you cannot really, disconnect between the two things, especially when you spend so much time in work with much more time than you spend usually during the week with your families or friends. But I love traveling. I love to see different cultures, different countries, something that is very different from, where I live. And I think that as a marketeer, you really have an opportunity because you travel, you see customers, you attend events, you speak with people. I mean, you're sharing, brainstorming. So it's a great, great experience, for people that like to be diverse and see different angles. I love to volunteer. I'm doing lots of stuff, but to be diverse. If you ask me what makes me, be smiling is to do multiple things at once and not always in the same, direction or to have different experiences.
Mm-hmm. All right. That was quite an insightful session, Ami. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with me today on Tuesdays with Trailblazers. And thank you so much for this eye-opening insight and session with you. So thank you again.
Thank you, Nia. Take care.
And thank you all for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. And do check out checkmarx.com to enhance your application security to make shift happen. Until next time, stay tuned with Martech for more insights into all things marketing and technology. Till we meet again, signing off, your host, Neha.